Happy Halloween, friends! Last day of October, and it's time for Halloween. And when it's Halloween time, it's pumpkin time. So, today, what we are planning to do is we'll be baking a cake, and that too a pumpkin cake in the shape of a pumpkin. So, the mold that I have has got a pumpkin shape, and that's how we'll do it. Now, the way we will make this pumpkin cake in this mold, because we have two cavities here, we will be putting the batter in two cavities and we will fill it up till 90%. And then we will get a dome shape. Once it will be ready, we will slice off the top part and we will put one part on top of the other so that it becomes in the shape of the pumpkin. See, the cake that I'm going to bake today is very simple. It is just mixing the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. That is all, but we have the other spiced ones which I won't be doing today, and it will be oil based. That is one part, and the other thing is that I'm just taking I'm using the homemade pumpkin puree. So let us know the ingredients. I'll be taking 3 eggs, so I'm just telling you the wet ingredients that I'll be taking. 3 eggs over here, pumpkin puree which I have made at home. What you do is that you slice or chop the pumpkin, put it in the micro for 6 minutes, and after that I have done it in a blender with 1 teaspoon of oil. I have taken olive oil, mixed that with the chopped pumpkin, and I just blended it. So I done it in a NutriBullet and that works fine. Or you can take the canned one as well, as I mentioned earlier. Which one seems to be, easier for you. Then I have taken oil. In this case, it is 100 ml. Vanilla essence will be 1 teaspoon. So these are all wet ingredients. So for dry, I have taken all-purpose flour, and you can take the whole wheat flour as well. This is around 295 grams. We will put a hint of cinnamon. Allowed to put more, so I'll put 1 teaspoon, but it depends upon your taste. Then we have the baking soda, which I will put as 1 teaspoon, and baking powder, which I will put as 2 teaspoons. Of course, sugar has to be there, and I have taken 2 types of sugar. One is the white and the other is the firmly packed brown sugar. White sugar should be around say 200 grams, and that around 50 grams. That is it. So 250 grams in total, as I mentioned. So now, before baking, as you know what we do. So there are 2 steps. One is to grease the mold, and the other is to preheat the oven. So first, let me preheat the oven at 180 degrees. So that is the temperature I'll be baking this cake at, and I'll bake it at 35 minutes. Or till the toothpick inserted comes out to be clean, or in case you have the cake tester, you can use that. So now let me preheat the oven. Now we will grease the mold. You can use any oil or butter, whatever you're using. Since we're using oil, I'll be using oil, and I'll be using pastry brush, because this will go into every groove, or you can use that brush as well. So grease it nicely. So that's how we do it. See, because even these small grooves, so that once the cake, you have to release the cake, it gets released easily, so we don't have the problem later on. So that's how we do it. And we're almost done with this as well. So we just have to make sure that we are greasing every groove, because the bottom line is that the cake should get released nicely. It shouldn't stick to the sides of the pan. So we will start by preparing the wet ingredients first, the mixture. So starting with the eggs. 3 eggs we are taking, and 1 egg at a time. We will use the hand mixer, or you can use the electric stand mixer as well, whichever is convenient for you. This stands perfect for me. So 3 eggs, 1 at a time. Shells will go here. So let us done. So let me put sugar in batches. So I'll start with the brown sugar, or you can put any, so there's no hard and fast rule. So what I'll do is I will start with firmly packed brown sugar. we are done with the sugar. So let us blend it. Next comes oil. See, this is really simple. All you are doing is, mixing up the ingredients. So we are done with this part. So I will add vanilla essence. As I said, I have to take 1 teaspoon. Let us blend it again. Now it's time to put in the puree, and this I kept ready, and now I will pour it in. Pumpkin puree, I have taken around 400 grams, and now I will mix it. Now we are done with the wet ingredients, so this is ready, and now we will prepare the dry ones. This is the all-purpose flour that I have already measured. It is around 295 grams. So you can take whole wheat flour as well, as I mentioned. And with this, I will take cinnamon powder, 1 teaspoon. This is baking soda. I will take it as around 1 teaspoon. And baking powder as 2 teaspoons. And we will sift it. Okay, now we are done with the sifting part. And now since this flour is ready, we can put it in the wet ingredients. Now, the wet mixture that we have kept ready. Now, along with cinnamon, in case you want to put any cloves, the clove powder that we have, just use the 1/8 of the teaspoon, because that is too strong. And you can use ginger powder as well, but that's again the preference, that's your taste. My family loves only the cinnamon, so we are using only that. We'll be mixing these two, and I will use the spatula first, because once you use that electric mixer, that flour, it comes on your face. And here, in case you want to put nuts also, the walnuts, chopped walnuts, that can be done. Again, that's a matter of taste. I'm not putting it today. I don't want any lumps, so this needs to be mixed properly. I don't have to over mix it, just till it's free of all lumps, and it's, you can feel that the batter is smooth. You can put this batter in the round tin or in the loaf tin. So there's no hard and fast rule that it has to be in the theme-based mold. This is the consistency we're looking for. So this is done. First, let me give one final brush. So what we are doing is, as I mentioned, that in this case we will be putting around 90%. We'll be filling it up, and because later we have to chop it, I think some more will go in. So this is done. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm just trying to clean the edges so that there are no droplets of the batter. So I will tap it so that there are no air bubbles. This I have filled up around, so almost full, because it needs to rise. It will rise like a dome. So now it's done, and I will keep the timer. Let me try to invert these slowly. Oopsie, yes. Let me check with the gloves. Wow, see. Now what we'll do is, we'll chop this part, both the sides, and join them together. So this is, the one that we chopped off, and this is what we have done on one top of the other. So now we have to align it so that it looks one full pumpkin. See, now this is looking proper. So this is all done, and that is the other cake. That is a red velvet cake, skull cake that we baked last night. That is baked by my hubby actually. We are good to go. Happy Halloween to all of you from Dees.